Dear students, today we will continue with another topic, approaches to safe electronic commerce. There are different approaches to solve the electronic commerce in a better way. Different approaches to safeguard the electronic commerce. Step 1, promote good password hygiene. That means good password methods. That means designing a password is an art, and we have to design the better passwords to compete with the hackers, okay, or maybe for unauthorized access. Here you can see, while passwords are experiencing competition from technologies such as face recognition and multi-factor authentication, they are still the standard access keys to most software. We need passwords for every service or website we log on to. So for many users, it just seems easier to use the same password for multiple services. The problem with this approach is that once the reused usernames and passwords have been taken by hackers, they can be applied to various services, leading to widespread fraud. Maybe, for example, you are installing one app, maybe in mobile. If that is tracked by some hackers, then again, if you are installing another app, maybe to remember that password, username and password, you will give the same username and password what you are having in mind. Okay, and to keep track of it, generally we will do that one. And by that, we are giving our information to hackers. Okay, that is the major problem of passwords. So that means we have to give different passwords for different apps or websites. Even if your e-commerce site has perfect security, your weakest link could be your customers. There are various password managers that can take the pain out of having to remember dozens of passwords to different website and service. Maybe some good companies, maybe like Google or maybe some different companies, authorized companies, have made one app or made one application and called password managers, and in that we can store passwords along with application name. By that easily you can track the password or easily you can remember the password. E-commerce website managers should require the use of complex passwords and two-factor authentication, that is called as 2FA, from users and customers. If you are sticking with passwords for now, then remember they should require a minimum number of characters, at least 6, preferably 8 to 10. Okay, by that, even though randomly, if they use robots and all, they have to generate many number of combination, and it is impossible task. That's why don't go for 2-digit, 4-digit or 4-character password, at least 6, but it's best 8 to 10 character passwords. Even if you are developing website or even if you are using some website to log in, then it's better to go with at least 8 to 10 characters. Use numbers and symbols. It is also advisable to force users change their passwords regularly, maybe for the duration. Maybe in the banking sector, they will give the 90 days duration, or every 90 days we have to change the password. After the 90 days, you have to change the password, but again repeating the same password is not possible. You have to change the password, okay, till 5 times. It will not allow you to use the same password which is used earlier. Step 2. Use HTTPS instead of HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. And it is the online protocol for secure communication over the internet, and one of the easiest way to help secure your e-commerce website from fraud, designated by a closed green lock icon on the browser address bar. HTTPS websites are deemed authentic and secure because they are certified. Maybe for example, some people, they will see if there is a lock, that on the address bar you can see the lock icon, and that lock icon indicates it is HTTPS, and if there is a lock icon, then only they will move to that website. Okay, maximum nearly 27 to 30% people will use only the secured websites. That's why developing HTTPS is important, using HTTPS. Website really is what it is claiming to be, and not counterfeit website placed online to fool users so that bad guys can grab access credentials, credit card data, and more. To enable HTTPS, SMBs need to acquire Secure Socket Layer certificate. Receiving an SSL certificate is the first step. Okay, when you are registering website, then you have to go for SSL certificate. While most e-commerce website hosts will have an SSL certificate for sale, it pays to shop around with third parties, as some vendors offer a better price and additional security capabilities. Even there may be fraud, okay, with the SSL certificate, but generally maximum maybe the 99% people on this SSL certificate are genuine. The advantage of using HTTPS go beyond security and trustworthiness. Google gives secure HTTPS websites a higher search ranking. Okay, as you know, in the search engine, Google will optimize the websites, and when you are searching some information, the websites with higher security or websites with regular use will come first, and that is called as search ranking. And that search ranking, okay, will enable you to earn money. You can attract many number of customers by that search ranking, and Google will give search ranking on the basis of many number of concepts, and in that one concept is HTTPS. Google labels unencrypted websites, that means HTTP website, as not secure, which makes them appear sketchy and unsafe. These days, there is few faster ways to get a potential customer to pass your website by. HTTPS now enforced on US government websites, which could mean it's just a matter of time before it is standard requirement for e-commerce websites too. That means if you are going for HTTPS, maximum it is secured. Third one, choose a secure e-commerce platform. E-commerce platforms are usually picked for their storefront building, convenience, range of design, and functionality. But security features need to be top of mind too. Look for proven e-commerce solutions that provide encrypted payment gateways, SSL certificates, and solid authentication protocols for sellers and buyers. That means when you are developing an e-commerce website and which requires the authentication of customers, okay, as well as authentication of banks when you are using payment gateways, and at that time you have to see whether the platform is secured or not. Okay, maybe for example you will go for the web hosting, and which must be a better one, which must be a well known. maybe the best example like GoDaddy, Big Rock. Okay, these are the common web hosting sites which will give more securities. The good news is cloud-based security platforms have really made security more accessible to smaller and mid-sized companies. You can get some of the benefits of better automation from these tools. Now there is a cloud-based security platforms. That means you can keep your data on some web hosting sites or maybe in some websites, and they will take the responsibility, security responsibility, and yearly they will charge some lump sum amount, and that we will call it as a cloud based security platforms. Step 4, don't store sensitive user data. Customers' personal data and privacy are of paramount importance, and we are seeing major technology companies such as Apple, Google rally around their focus on keeping users' data private and safe. Consumer privacy is even more critical in e-commerce. The danger is that website hacking, phishing, and other cyber attacks target this user data. The first rule is to only collect data that is useful for the purpose of fulfilling the transaction. As you know, the best example is PhonePe. Nowadays, like PhonePe, it will not ask all the information related to one customer. Just it will try to complete the transaction within a small amount of information. PhonePe, Google Pay, nowadays they are going for this type of concept. Business should avoid the temptation of collecting more customer data than is absolutely necessary. This avoids inconveniencing your customers and the possibility of losing the data in a breach or hack. The above rule applies specifically to customer credit card information. There is no need to store them on online servers, which can be a violation of PCI DSS, that is Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, which serves to enforce consumer data protection in the payment card industry. As you know, like maybe for example, there may be Phone Pay, Google Pay, all these, maybe the Paytm, all these applications are there or apps are there, and they will collect the user's data in the beginning in the two-way authentication method. And after the authentication, they will keep that data in a secured way, not related to internet. By that, they can keep that information in a secure way. And what is needed, like maybe the account number, just name, these are essential in the transaction. And only those informations are shared with the transaction. And that is called as PCI DSS, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. Cyber criminals and hackers can't steal what isn't there. So keeping the valuable personal and financial information of your users should be kept secure and off online servers. This should include having stringent access controls, regular audits, and most importantly, total data encryption. Step 5. Employ your own website monitor. That will be better. Okay. Instead of going for third party website monitor, there may be some hacking tools in that third party website monitor. You can employ your own website monitor. While most e-commerce website hosting service will have some kind of monitoring tool set available to their customer as part of the basic package, there is no reason to ignore more robust third-party website monitoring tool. The ability to build your own dashboard and utilize features such as application health monitoring and performance benchmarking will definitely keep your site running smoothly, especially if you can monitor it from anywhere using the mobile clients. These tools also often offer. Okay. That is the advantage. Try to develop your own dashboard or own monitoring tools by coding the program. Step 6. Maintain a security focused mindset. E-commerce security is never a one and done deal. Threats and hacking methodologies evolve at an alarming rate, and maintaining an awareness and a security focused mindset is necessary prevention. What the concept is, every day there may be different type of hacking tools, and every day there may be different threats, and you have to see those threats continuously, and you try to handle those hacks or threats in the online concept or in the e-commerce. Most of the hacking and website breaches today aren't even done by humans. Okay, nowadays, like earlier there were only human hackers, but nowadays even there are robotic hacking tools, and by using those tools they will try to hack the websites. The real challenge for all businesses is effectively implementing e-commerce authentication and security measures in frictionless manner so the customer experience is not impacted, and then staying on top of evolving threats without breaking the budget on security. There is one more concept commonly asked in exams: Secure File Transfer Protocol, SFTP. Secure File Transfer Protocol, SFTP. What does SFTP mean? Secure File Transfer Protocol, SFTP, is a file protocol for transferring large files over the internet or in the web. Maybe for example, you know FTP, File Transfer Protocol, which is used to transfer files from one computer, one area to another area on the internet. SFTP is a secured FTP, just like how the HTTPS is. It builds on the file transfer protocol and includes Secure Shell for the security components. Secure Shell is a cryptographic component of internet security. Cryptographic means it contains encryption and decryption methodologies. SSH and SFTP were designed by the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, for greater web security. As you know, there will be like different internet managing companies. That IEEE is one, and IETF is another one, Internet Engineering Task Force. And this is for the security purpose. SFTP transfers files security using SSH and encrypted FTP commands to avoid password sniffing and exposing sensitive information in plain text. Okay, that is nothing but cryptography. Cryptography is nothing but converting plain text into one format. By that, when we are transmitting the information, that will be in a different format. Since the client needs to be authenticated by the server, SFTP also protects against man-in-the-middle attacks. SFTP can be handy in all situations where sensitive data needs to be protected. For example, trade secrets may not be covered by any particular data privacy rule, but it can be devastating for them to fall into the wrong hands. So a business user might use SFTP to transmit files containing trade secrets or other similar information. A private user may want to encrypt his or her communication as well. This term is also known as Secure Shell File Transfer Protocol. Okay, that means SFTP is a secure method to transmit and to receive the data in a secure way, and that we will call it as a Secure Shell File Transfer Protocol. Where SFTP is useful. SFTP as a successor to FTP is used for many situations where file security is important. Okay, and it has to comply with the standards like Health Insurance Portability and Accessibility Act, that is HIPAA Act, that governs protected health information. Sometimes there may be health informations in website, or maybe if somebody is collecting your health information, that must be protected from the hackers or unauthorized access. Any business, even a third party working with a hospital or healthcare provider, must keep its PHI confidential. That means personal healthcare information. And that includes during its transition through networks in digital packet form. That's why SFTP can be useful in securing this type of data. That means personal health information is too important concept for the people, and that can be secured maybe in hospitals, okay, maybe in some healthcare product, or maybe in healthcare insurance, okay, and that can be secured by using SFTP. SFTP is one of several options for shielding the data in transfer to make sure that hackers don't obtain it and that the company does not unwittingly perform a HIPAA violation if that law applies. SFTP can also satisfy other standards for data protection. Some users who are relatively new to SFTP as a protocol ask whether it is preferable to use SFTP or a virtual private network (VPN). Both systems will protect data, but they are not the same. That is SFTP and Virtual Private Network (VPN). SFTP is a protocol, whereas VPN is a secure encrypted tunnel. That means secure encrypted network to transmit the data. Okay, SFTP is a protocol. That means it is a rule to govern the network information, but VPN, Virtual Private Network, is a network which is useful to transmit the data. With that in mind, information can also be sent using SFTP protocol through a VPN, making the transfer even more secure. Since this is a virtual private network, may be related to one company, in that again if you go for SFTP, then there will be a two-layer security. That is the advantage of SFTP plus VPN. Thank you, students. This is about how we can enforce the major rules to maintain websites in a secured way. Thank you. God bless you.